Welcome to the Millenial Digital. My name is Stephen Mumo, and I head the Politics and Current Affairs Department under the Civic Awareness. Today we are marking the International Women's Day 2025 with the theme From Ideas to Impact. And in line with that theme, we have a lovely guest with us, Mumbua Kyalo, who has worked with the youth in various areas. And in line with that, we are going to listen from her on how she has transformed her lovely ideas into impact to impact the current generation. Mumbua Kyalo has worked with the youth, and now I'm going to give her an opportunity to introduce herself to our lovely audience. Welcome, Mumbua Kyalo.
My name is Mumbua Kyalo, working at the Ministry of Defense and an advisor to the Executive Youth Forum, the National Youth Forum. I also am an alumni of the Public Service Emerging Leaders Fellowship Program, and also an alumni of the Emerging Public Leaders Program as well. And it's a pleasure to be here with you, Steve.
Yes, it's a pleasure as well to host you today. Mm-hmm. So as we start, maybe I should just ask, what was your motivation? What led you towards working with the youth? Of course, aside from the fact that you are a youth yourself. Mm-hmm. So what led you to that line of work?
Yeah, I believe the youth are the future.
Yes.
And the future is the strongest thing we can have as a country.
Okay.
And considering that we have this strong generation with very many great ideas, beautiful ideas, I'm also very passionate about matters youth, considering I'm still youth myself. And personally, I'm a product of mentorship, mm-hmm. considering that I'm still youth and I'm still trying to get things rolling on my end. And yeah, that's what has been motivating me to work with the youth. I'm really passionate on matters youth and just ensuring that our generation is to remember.
In that line of work, what will you say has been your major breakthrough over the years, ever since you started interacting with the youth?
A major breakthrough has been mentorship. I would say I'm a product, just like I said, I'm a product of mentorship. And I've also been able to mentor several people in my line of work. Like previously, I'll give an example. In my previous workstation where I used to work, mm-hmm. I was supervising about 130 people. And since the camp is very huge, I was able to appoint youth representatives in each and every section. Uh-huh. And from that, they were able to really learn a lot, and it built their self-confidence to a point that when I was leaving that place, the impact was so huge that they were able to even come up with their own ideas. They were able to even innovate creative ideas on how to decision make and problem solve in their various line of work.
So in line with that, allow me to ask, mm-hmm. what have you been able to understand with time concerning leadership? What lessons have you been able to gain in that regard to that? Mm-hmm. And also on the aspect of ethical leadership, mm-hmm. with what is happening to society today, mm-hmm. what will be your take on that?
First of all, leadership is not a one-man show.
Oh, yes.
As a leader, I have learned to always shine my light to other people. Okay. There's this saying that I live by: once you light someone else's candle, the room becomes brighter. That's one thing I've always lived with. And the aspect of us having young people doing great things is something that really motivates me. Okay. And on the aspect of ethical leadership, I think that's a work in progress, I would say. Ethics is a culture. So mentoring people to develop this culture is something that we should think of as a country, because it's a culture that it's in the mind. You can't be taught how to be ethical. It has to come from within yourself. You have to say, right, this is what I have been doing, but henceforth, I'll do this and this differently. So that's what my experience has been like.
Aside from the fact that, as you've said, mm-hmm. leadership has to involve like everyone, what else would you say about leadership, considering the current generation, that takes you as a leader to be what you're being looked up to? Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Leadership is inclusive. That's the point. Leadership is you should be able to include each and everyone. Say, for example, you have a team. Okay. You should be able to include each and every person, even the weakest member of that team. So leadership is all about inclusion, being able to make the other person be seen, be heard, have them or invite them or give them a seat at the table, Because another thing that I've also learned in leadership is if they cannot invite you at the table, create your own seat. Yeah?
A very interesting one.
If you can't create your own seat, you create your own table and invite them.
Yeah.
That's one thing I have always learned. And I believe this generation has exactly that. The aspect of people being able to, we are really aggressive. This generation is really aggressive in trying to make, to transform our various lines and to transform our lives and our country.
Maybe if I would ask, how many, you're in the various positions working with the youth, maybe you can take us through some of those experiences that you've had working with the youth, and maybe what stood out for you through those experiences. Yeah.
From the experiences that I've had working with the youth, one thing that has stood out for me is, just like I said, the aspect of mentorship. Youth, I believe when we believe in the youth, or when the older generation believes in the youth, it's really easy for us to make impact in our various lines of work. And it's something that, it's like we need a driving force. We need the blessings. I would say we need the blessings of our older generation as young people, because we are motivated to do very many things, from technological innovations. We are really creative. This generation is really rich in each and everything that they do. And that's one thing that has stood out for me over the years that I've interacted with the youth. They are eager to learn, they're eager to innovate, to create, and provide solutions, provide actual solutions to these problems. Because realize the youth are well versed with matters technology. And this is one thing that we could use as a strength as a generation to just try and change the world, just try and change our country. Yeah.
Looking back at your time, ever since you started working with the youth, what would you say is that impact that you've looked at and just felt like, indeed, my effort are really bringing in some good fruit, and that like motivated you to even keep doing more and more? So what is that one impact you can point out, or at least two, if possible?
Yes, having worked, or having a workforce that was kind of youthful in my previous workstation, where I was able to supervise over 130 people. Most of these people were youth, and I realized that one thing that's kind of straining them is the aspect of financial literacy. You realize that youth, or I would say the younger generation, we are not well versed on matters how to handle finances. And it's actually a problem. It still is a problem in government, but it's actually a problem that I was able to identify in my unit, and I partnered with I&M Bank to have them on board, just so that they can provide financial literacy classes to my people. And I saw change. Right after that, I actually saw change. The other thing is mental health awareness. You realize that the youth are also affected by these things, majorly affected by these things. I was able to invite various psychologists and psychiatrists just to be able to provide more awareness on this, just so that people could feel that it's okay to, mental health is not sickness. It's not a sickness, it's not a disease. It's okay to feel that way. And the only way you could help these people is to put yourself in their shoes. And as much as it won't fit as much to you, but having them understand that you understand how they feel, and it's not wrong to have such problems. Yeah.
I would say, I've come also to understand about that, especially the mental health aspect.
Yeah.
Because as I believe, you have to get into their shoes first and reason out, just like they are reasoning, see it from their angle, so that you're able to help them accordingly. So instead of acting as a moral cop, because they know they have a problem, so have to see how you're going to help them to get out of it. And once they see that you're understanding that, then it becomes easier to help. So I will ask, being a lady, what are some of the challenges you can see that you have faced, and how exactly have you been able to deal with them?
Being a lady, I've been able to face various challenges, like work-life balance. Like last year, I was doing my master's, and it was kind of straining for me to balance between my actual life, my master's degree, and work. And I was also doing a few other programs. And this is something that, yes, affects everyone, but I think it weighs a lot on women, considering you have a family, you have to keep the family running.
Yeah.
And there's this duties here and there that you have to keep on going. You probably are a firstborn like I am. You have to make sure that everything is going on well. And that's one thing I've faced. And also the aspect of public perception on women in leadership.
Okay.
It's kind of tricky because in the African setting, women are meant to be submissive. But as we progress as a country, or as we progress as a globally, we're able to like accept the fact that even women are able to do these things. They might be tough sometimes, but I believe women are tough cookies. So yeah, we're able to do these things, and the main challenge is that you have to work extra hard. I'm not saying that the men don't work extra hard, but women have to go a mile away just to be able to get the seats at this table. But yeah, we're able to do this.
If I may ask on that aspect as well, is there any woman who you can say you really look up to and you admire their efforts and they just motivate you to keep even going further and further?
Yes, my greatest role model is my mom.
Interesting.
She's doing a great job. Have you heard of Women in Men Fields? She's doing it. She's doing it, and she has faced very many challenges, I will say, because I've seen her walk through her journey, and she's had very many challenges, but she's been able to stand strong. She's been able to stamp her feet and go that extra mile because she knows what she wants. That should be the first step. You know what you want, and if you know what you want, no matter what anyone says around you, you still go for what you want. Yeah.
Yeah, so I think at this point I will just say shout out to Mumbua's mom, wherever she is. Yes, feel appreciated. Yeah. So as we come to almost the close, what lessons have you picked along the way, and how have those lessons helped you to grow yourself better?
The lessons I have picked along the way is believe in yourself first, no matter how much people around you don't believe in you.
Okay.
Learn to believe in other people's dreams. You never know. This life is like a merry-go-round. You may believe someone's dream right now, and you're probably investing in your future, in the near future. You're probably placing an investment on your future, because I believe this is, just like I said, this is the strongest generation this world has ever had. We are out to change the world. We're out to create impact, and the only way we could do that is hold each other down. We should be fighting with each other, same team, not against each other, because you realize a team that's kind of not divided fights stronger than a team that is divided.
Yeah.
And there's this quote that I also live by: if you want to go fast, go alone.
Yeah.
If you want to go far, go together. So I believe if we were to come together as the youth and put our ideas together, we have really strong ideas as a generation. And this is one thing that I will say is our stronghold as a generation. So that's one thing I've always learned. Light other people's candles. Imagine a dark room. Say we have a dark room, right?
Yeah.
There's only one candle lit. The room is still dark.
Yes, it is.
But imagine if we have 100 candles in that room. It becomes
Definitely
bright.
becomes brighter.
Yeah. So that's one thing I've always learned. And I will say I'm grateful and I'm humbled to have sat on the shoulders of giants.
Okay.
By this I mean I have the strongest support system one could ever have. And this is one thing that I think also as our parents should understand, that supporting your kids' dreams, supporting your children's aspirations is one thing that can push them into heights you would never have imagined. Because when you stand on the shoulders of giants, you're able to see very far. But when you're not standing on anyone's shoulder, you just see like a few meters away. But just imagine how it will feel when you're standing or seated on the shoulder of a giant. That's my life. Yeah.
Actually, my takeout on that will be the only way the future can be bright is if we light each other's candles as well, so that we are able to make the future better for each and every one of us.
Yes.
So as we come to our close, what was your parting shot?
So my parting shot is, as a young generation, as strong as we are, is light someone else's candle. You may never know how bright that room will look like if you're able to light as many candles as we can. So this is a message to all the youths out there, that we are the strongest generation this country has ever had. And this is one thing that we need to realize as a generation. We are the ones to change our country, and we're the ones to make it better. So that's what I can say.
So maybe you can also give us your socials where we can be able to get in touch with you.
Right.
For those of us who feel very inspired by the story and would like to get to see more of you.
Okay. My LinkedIn is Mumbua Kyalo. That's me on my LinkedIn. And my Instagram is Mumbua.
So there you have it. We have had our lovely guest, Mumbua Kyalo, and you'll be able to hear the wonderful story and incredible story that she has had to share with us. And that is it. Thank you for joining us. Till next time. My name is Stephen Mumo.